All right, welcome to The Explainer. Today we're going to talk about how to take your personal knowledge system from, a cluttered garage and turn it into a high-performance engine. And look, this isn't just about getting better with a tool, it's about totally upgrading how you think. So if you've been using a system like LifeOS or maybe Obsidian for a few months now, you might be hitting what I like to call the advanced users plateau. You know that feeling, right? The tool that was supposed to bring you all this clarity suddenly starts to feel, well, just chaotic. Yeah, you totally know what I'm talking about. Your notes are just a disconnected mess, trying to find anything is a total headache, and your second brain feels more like a dusty old digital attic. But hey, don't sweat it. The path from that plateau to actual mastery, it's way clearer than you might think. So we're going to walk this path together. We'll go through 4 levels of mastery, and then we'll hit the summit. Each step builds right on top of the last one. And by the end, we'll have turned those static notes into a system that's actually working for you. Ready? Let's dive in. All right, first up, level 1. This is all about making your information findable. I mean, let's be honest. This is the biggest frustration, right? You know you wrote that brilliant idea down somewhere, but you have absolutely no clue where it is. And this right here? This gets to the absolute heart of the problem. It's not that you have too many notes. The real issue is that you're not thinking about how you're going to find it later when you're writing it now. If retrieval isn't part of your capture process, that note is basically gone the second you hit save. So what's the solution? Well, it's this really elegant 3-part system. We're going to use tags for all the flexible thematic stuff. Then we've got index files, which are like these awesome automatic project dashboards. And finally, good old-fashioned folders, because you just can't beat that simple muscle memory for structure. Okay, now this is a total game changer. The magic really happens when you split your tags into 2 different types. You have theme tags, which answer what's this about, and you have status tags, which answer what state is this in. That little distinction, it lets you do incredibly powerful things, like find all your in-progress ideas that are about React. I mean, that's a level of surgical precision that most systems just can't touch. Okay, so once you can actually find your notes, it's time for level 2, making your notes talk to each other. This is where we go from having a pile of data to building a real interconnected web of knowledge. The big idea here is something called information flow. The goal is to have one single piece of info, say a new task for a project, just magically show up everywhere it needs to be. It's in your daily note, it's on the project dashboard, it's under the right theme, all automatically. And the best part? 0 copying and pasting. None. So you're probably wondering, how does that magic actually work? Well, it's all about having a standardized naming convention for your tags. By giving them a consistent structure, you're basically teaching your system how to connect all the dots for you. It's this hidden framework that makes the whole automatic flow possible. And this is the payoff. This is what it's all for. When you tag everything with that consistency, your system can spit out these incredibly powerful insights. I mean, just imagine realizing you only spent 10% of your week on your top priority project. That's not just data. That's a wake-up call, an insight you would never get otherwise. All right, now we're ready to climb to level 3. This is where we take the routine task of a weekly review, which for most of us is kind of a chore, and we turn it into an active engine for real personal growth. So here's the big mental shift you have to make. You've got to stop just listing what happened. A good review doesn't just say, Project A was delayed. A great review forces you to ask, okay, why was it delayed? And then, even more importantly, what specific, concrete thing am I going to do next week to make sure that doesn't happen again? It helps to think about your reviews like different zoom levels. Your daily review, that's zoomed way in. You're just harvesting little ideas and wins. The weekly review zooms out a bit. It's all about execution. Then your monthly and yearly reviews, that's the 30,000-foot view. You're checking your overall direction, making sure you're still headed where you want to go. And a really powerful framework for this is the PDCA loop. Plan, do, check, act. It's so simple but so effective. You plan what you're going to do, you do the work, you check your results against that plan, and then, this is the crucial part, you act on what you learned to make next week's plan even better. That's it. That's the engine of compounding growth right there. Okay, we've reached the final technical level, mastering the entire project lifecycle. This is where you graduate from treating projects like just a bunch of to-do lists and start seeing them as these complete cycles of learning and creating. And here's the big aha moment. Just finishing the tasks? That's only part of the project. A project isn't truly done when you check that last box. No way. It's done when you've actually taken the time to reflect on the whole process and pull out the lessons you learned. That's the real prize. So managing that full life cycle means you start with a clear initiate phase. Then you execute it using all those cool tagging systems we've already set up, but critically, you complete it by doing a postmortem to grab all that juicy knowledge. Then, and only then, do you archive it and get it out of your workspace so you can stay focused. Okay, we've gone through a ton of techniques, but getting to the summit, the real peak, it's not about being a LifeOS or Obsidian expert. The real goal here is to internalize all of this stuff so that it literally upgrades the way you think. So the first big upgrade is structural thinking. You start to see all this chaotic, raw information around you, and your brain just instinctively starts looking for ways to organize it, to turn it into a system that's clear, that makes sense, and that's actually useful. Next up, you build this habit of connective thinking. You stop seeing ideas as these separate little islands. Instead, you start to automatically see the hidden connections between them, this invisible web that links everything together. It creates such a richer picture of what you know. And finally, you master iterative thinking. You just fully embrace that cycle of plan, do, check, act. You're not chasing perfection anymore. Instead, you're focused on making those small 1% improvements every single day, knowing that they compound into huge progress over time. Look, at the end of the day, a system like this is just the gym. It's the training ground. The real takeaway here is that when you deliberately build a better system for your thoughts, what you're really doing is forging a better way of thinking. The system is just the tool. Your upgraded mind, that's the masterpiece you're building.